All right, so I came home today to these two packages, both beat up. I'm going to show you what I found. You can see there where there's parts coming through, and the box here is all beat up. What's housed inside? Well, what's it say here? It says 1,100-pound transmission jack. Now, this is one of my Harbor Freight sale items I picked up. As you can see, it arrived kind of beat up, so we're going to do an unboxing and let's see what it looks like. Okay, so we've unboxed it, and these items were in that smaller box. Not a lot of packing material there, but I got to tell you, I was a little surprised. This actually was packed better than I thought it would have been. You can see it was a box inside of a box. And the piece that did protrude through isn't damaged in any way. Now, is the jack a little beat up? Absolutely. But you know what? For what I paid for it, I'm not going to complain as long as it works and goes together correctly. So I'm going to go ahead and start assembly. I see some literature down here on how to assemble it. So we're going to go ahead and walk you through it, and I'll give you my impressions at the end of what I think of this central hydraulics jack. So if you remember from the pictures, that orange tube was one piece. These guys were separate. I went ahead and I did one side at a time. These need to be tightened now. I just did hand tight, ran them through, and then while this was on its side, I put the wheels on, okay, right here. I went ahead and I put the wheels on it. They need to be tightened down as well. And then I flipped it over, right? Let me roll it out here. So I would have flipped it over, and I did the other side. So when I say I flipped it over, let me go ahead. That's what I did. I put it on its side, and I did this side. So it's easy to bolt that on. It's easy to hit the wheels. Then I sat it down, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start assembly of the top portion. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'll tighten everything up at that point. But I wanted to give you at least a glimpse of the first part. Okay, guys, so here's where I'm at. I broke down, I was looking at the instructions a little bit. So they send you a air valve, and they tell you to make that a point to find that fairly early. So I went ahead and I did do that. It came with a painted one in there. Took that out. I put the air vent in, and then that wasn't terrible. But here's where the pain begins. So this unit ships as two pieces, okay? And this bottom piece has this long thread coming through with a lock washer and some bearings, okay? And I'll let me pull this up here a little closer so you guys can see it. Okay, so you've got some bearings right here, a lock washer or lock nut, things of that nature. So what we have to do is they want you to put this on. So you have to remove this piece here. You have to remove the snap rings, pull them off, and you know you can do it. I have this tool. It's not an expensive tool. I got it at it's a Craftsman. You pry it apart that way. And you run that through to install this here. Now this is the tricky part. This one here. So this one's not terrible. Push the rod through, put the snap ring back on, no big deal. But this one here, right? It's threaded. So you have to back the threads the whole way out. Well, to do that, you have to pull the lock washer. Why they didn't just put the centerpiece with the snap ring in this unit here, so that all you had to do was then assemble, put the rod through, and, you know, I don't understand why they didn't do that. So you have to disassemble. So, you know, you've got some bearings here you want to be careful about. And, you know, you disassemble it, feed the threaded rod through here and down here, reassemble. So we've done that. That's done. So what's next? That's a great question. I think we're going to set that on top of here, and we'll begin to put the pieces together that go on top of here. Let me back this up. To go on top of here for you. So, like I said, it's recommended, at least I would, that you assemble this off the jack You have a set screw here so that when you set it down on here, it doesn't work its way off. And I believe it stated that you have to put some jack oil in the, or some hydraulic oil in there. So we'll do that at some point as well. But I'm going to go through, tighten everything up, get it assembled, and show you what the finished product should look like. We've gone ahead and we finished assembly. I've got to tighten that set screw there. But for the most part, we tightened the wheels, all that's done. You know, what you have here is you assemble it. You can see how this all works together. This changes the elevation from the, you know, up or down. And you have the ability to slide these right here. You keep these, you just tighten or loosen those up, they'll slide. And then you have the ability to move this in, and then there's a chain as well. So I'm curious to see, I do think that they could have done a little bit better job for us on assembly, but it's a pretty simple operation on how to make it work. You pump, as you can see, and then you just release it. And you have to hold it to do so. But it works. So, there you have it. Was it a bit of a pain in the ass to assemble? Yes. I think their instructions are detailed enough that they give you step by step, but you have to keep stopping and referencing the number that they keep referring to, instead of just putting this picture on each page so that you can reference it. Well, not, you know, like while you're going down through steps here, you could be looking here to reference the picture to match it up. I think it could have been a little bit better, but at the end of the day, it's Harbor Freight, it's Central Hydraulics. You know, like I said, I think for what I paid for it, I think I paid 176 bucks for it. It was money well spent. We're going to put it to use over here on Jim's car. And if you have a lift, this type of a jack, I think, is a must-have. So I'm looking forward to trying it out. But anyway, hopefully you've enjoyed the video. If you don't know already, you're Driven to Compete YouTube channel. So like I said, you're watching the Driven to Compete YouTube channel. I want to thank you for your time and watching this video, and of the assembly and my comments and such on my thoughts on this purchase. I would recommend you hit the subscribe button and the bell so you can stay up to date on all my latest videos. And please share my my YouTube page with your friends, your family. I would welcome new subscribers, as well as I love reading your comments. With that said, I hope you have a great night. Thanks for watching Driven to Compete. Watch, like, subscribe.